What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nick Krem Live. And Nick Krem Live is powered by ContentCards.com, and it's Content Cards with the Z.com. And today with me is Jeff Quiane. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on, Nick? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, and we're gonna have some.
Man, let's make real estate great again in the USA, man. You know what I'm saying?
I was wondering where you were gonna be going with that one there. Man, Jeff, so we had a good idea. We had a cool idea that we're going to be doing today. It's going to be kind of like a double interview, right? We're just going to be kind of brainstorming back and forth, throwing it back at each other. So with that being said, I'm going to start with Jeff. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself here?
Man, so it's funny. I watched your interview with Stuman the other day, and he brought up a good point when people say, like, tell me about yourself. But, I think if you could look at the wallpaper inside my internal house, I was born and raised in Salinas, California. So represent West Side and didn't have anything special, man. I think that what I can share with people is that whatever I've managed to do, self-made, didn't graduate high school, didn't go to some fancy college or any college for that matter. Right. But I had a desire to learn, and eventually I made my way to Texas, as those that are from Texas would say. I got here as soon as I could. Yeah. And to be honest, I answered an ad one time about being a stockbroker because I saw Wall Street and Boiler Room and all that stuff and thought, man, that's it. That's where it's at. And so I got my Series 7 and Series 63. At that time, it was NASD, National Association of Security Dealers, and I got my license and found out that it is not some glamorous job. You're set at a cubicle and I'm given a bunch of pages, a lead and a telephone, and said, get after it. And so that's where I started honing my skills, like as a real craftsman when it comes to sales. I had been in sales for a long time before, sold everything from door to door, fire retardant stuff that you'd spray on any water soluble surface and it would eliminate it from catching on fire. Spent a number of years selling high-end menswear, sold ladies' shoes at Lord & Taylor, but eventually made my way into the financial services. And that's really where I learned the craft of closing and really took it serious and made some good money and sold everything from, limited partnerships to joint ventures to oil wells to mineral rights, which is a little bit real estate related, and you name it.
Yeah, no, and I hear you. When you tell someone, like, tell me a little bit about yourself, it is like, where do you start, right? So like we were saying.
I hooked up with Jay and Mike, and I guess I should. And so then I hooked up with Jay and Mike and managed our inside sales team when we had an active brokerage. We had about 20 outside, what we called partners. They were just real estate agents that partnered with us, and we had an inside sales team of about 15 ISAs. And I managed that team. And since then, we provide some limited service to the agents that meet the right criteria. We'll call leads for them. And then we have our coaching company and stuff like that I'm involved in, Nick.
Yeah, no, and it's funny that you bring it back to your very first sales job, because now I'm thinking back to mine, where my first sales gig was actually going back to when the Cavs won the championship. My brother and I had this great idea to make shirts and just go downtown. So we made about 500 shirts, selling them on the corner. That's where we started, and I'll tell you what, we sold every single one of them. But then
I love it, man. I love it. Like Too Short, selling tapes out of his trunk.
Yes, sir. That's how we were. We set up a table. We were all good to go, just talking to each person on the corner. We moved them pretty quickly. But, getting into how I got into, like, the whole real estate career was starting off with Al Stasek here at the call center appointments today. Started off as a caller, started doing coaching for different agents, ISAs, doing everything within that realm, client communications. Then we started doing content cards, which is the digital marketing. And this kind of brings us to what we're going to be talking about today. What we noticed, and I'm sure you noticed this too with certain clients, when you have a bigger presence, calling for them and just reaching out became that much easier because they already had that presence. You call and they're like, oh, Jeff, I know Jeff. How's it going? It's that much easier. So we're going to be talking about Facebook today, business page, personal page, what are the do's and what are the don'ts. So Jeff, I want to start with a concept that you were talking about the other day about letting your ego get in the way when it comes to either the business or personal page. So do you want to elaborate on that a little bit about what this concept you were telling me about was?
Yeah, man, it's something that I took away. A million people have said it, so I'll give credit to everybody. But it's ego versus profit, and a lot of the times, and I've been guilty of it in the past, let's say that you're thinking about making a post and your ego gets in the way. I mean, have you ever, you're about to hit send on a post, maybe to your personal or your business page, and you're like, I don't know, man. And that little tape in your head. Yeah, that little tape in your head. It's a voice in your head that's completely irrational because nobody's ever proved evidence that what you're saying in your head is right. Like nobody's ever said to me what I'm worried somebody's going to say. And so you talk yourself out of making a post or doing a lot of different things, not just a post on Facebook, and so, your ego gets in the way. And in my experience, it's not about you, right? You never know what you're about to post and how it's going to affect somebody on the other end. They may not like it. They may not comment on it, but you never know the impact that post might have on somebody else's life. And, I went through a thing that's hosted here in Dallas many years ago called Pathways, and it's a life seminar, life improvement type thing, really hardcore, kind of like a Tony Robbins deal. It's actually a few months long. You spend a whole week during one part getting beat up emotionally in a hotel room. You don't even get to leave for a week. And one of the things that I learned there, they talk about share. You got to play the game. You got to post. You got to post in real life, and you don't realize. Like when I would say something, you got people in the room that have these, what you think are just, man, ooh, that's tough. I don't got nothing like that, man. What am I going to say? Say that I stubbed my toe. This, golly. But you never know. And I experienced those situations where I shared something that I thought was minuscule in comparison to what I was hearing from the room. But that one thing I said triggered something for somebody else and allowed them to expand on their journey and allowed them to discover things. And at the same time, fed right back to me and I was able to discover things. So, the takeaway there is you just got to do it, man. And progress before perfection. You just do it. Just do it. If it feels right, do it. As long as it's not something that is inappropriate.
Right. No, and I think you bring up some good points there as far as worrying about how many likes you're getting, how many views you're getting, how many comments you're getting. That's something I think we all feel guilty of sometimes, wondering if this is going to be popular, I guess you could say, or wondering why this video is getting more views than the other one. I mean, a lot of times it comes down to, even if you have 20 views on one of your videos, those are 20 real people that took time out of their day to watch your video, right? Like, it's not undermining the value of those 20 people putting eyes on your product, which is you, at the end of the day. And when you're able to share a story and you impact one person, I mean, that makes it all worth it, right?
So let me ask you a question. When you're going to post something on Facebook, like what's your process? What goes through your mind before you hit that little triangle?
Man, so I'll tell you what, my process has changed a lot since the beginning. And I think it's good to go back to, I was looking at some of my very first videos the other day and some of my very first kind of posts when I started posting differently. They're a lot different than what they are now. We're always looking at the end product, but it's cool to go back and look at the process that went with it. So with that being said, the videos that you produce and any content you produce is not going to be perfection like you always think it will be. It's just kind of going out there and doing it. But I would say my process is when I'm posting to an audience, right? Because if I'm posting about my family or something personal, I don't really have a filter with that. I just think it's cool. It's with my family. I'll post it. But when it comes to my audience, it's just always keeping the audience. I start with the audience and I end with the audience. I first figure out who am I posting to? What are their goals? What are their values? And then I construct a message that is built specifically for them, right? Because I know I fell victim of this. When I would post all the time, somebody asked me, I think it was Jay actually, he's like, what's the goal? And I'm like, well, I don't have an answer for you because I didn't have a goal. So when you're posting without a goal, you're going to confuse your audience and you're not really going to know what's going on. But what you have to do is just start with the audience in mind, construct a message that's for them, and then end with the audience and you're good to go. So my main goal when I'm going through it is this something my audience will like? If it's a yes, I post it. If it's a no, I figure out a way to get that done.
Yeah, man. So you got to know who your audience is. I think that's a key takeaway there. A lot of people maybe overlook that aspect, and there's a bunch of different exercises from filling out some persona templates and walking through the customer's journey or the members of your audience, what their journey is and stuff. But at the end of the day, you do need to kind of know who your audience is. And, it's intent-based branding, right? It's intent-based branding. I'm doing it with intent. I'm not just posting stuff to see myself on a, 8-inch screen. There should be some intent behind it, and you should think about what that is, whether it's to drive people to your lead forms or it's just to deliver value. And I'm going to tell you right now, value is where it's at. And I think you'd probably agree with that, wouldn't you, Nick?
Yeah, no, 100%. And at the end of the day, it's not everybody's always going to get your message. Or your posts don't have to be for everybody. You want to speak to a specific audience. You want to move them emotionally and then add some value to them. So if you try and speak to everybody, you're going to lose. You have to clearly define who your audience is and then just speak to them directly. And at the end of the day, if some other people don't like it, that's fine. The message wasn't for them.
Yeah. Hey, there's plenty of other people on Facebook that they can follow, man. That's the good thing about it. There's, right. It's like a TV. There's so many channels. If you don't like what I'm broadcasting, dude, you can just flip the channel. But if you're authentic, Nick, I think it's authenticity, right? It's got to be authentic. If you love what you're doing, if you're in real estate and you are passionate about helping people, saving them from the pitfalls that so many experience, then it should be authentic. And so my kind of rules are like, if it's something I'm passionate about, then I'm going to post it. I don't even run it through a filter or anything because it's just authentic to me and people will receive that authenticity. And then I want to deliver value. So if I am talking to an audience that I'm trying to coach to or to share knowledge with, then I want to make sure that there's actual takeaways and deliverable value. And then at some point, if we're talking about marketing with an intent-based branding perspective, we've got the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, you know what I mean? And you're going to create your audience by delivering value at the top. And at the end, at some point or another, you've got to inspire people to take action. And so, those three things are kind of what I try to base things around. Is it something I'm passionate about? Am I delivering value? And if it's the right point in time and I feel that the particular segment of the audience is prepped to take action, then we got to inspire them to take action.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, if you're not monetizing a lot of these posts, you can do it for fun. That's perfectly fine. But if you don't give a call to action and a clear one, you're never going to monetize it. So
how do you know, Nick? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So how do you know when a particular part of your audience might be ready for an offer or might be ready for a lead form or that inspiring CTA, call to action? How do you determine that?
Man, that's a good question. So when it comes down to it, I wouldn't say there's an exact formula when it comes down to this one. I know some people say it's like you give 3 things of value, then you extract out of it, right? Like you give 3 things of value. So you give like 3 videos without a call to action, and you give 1 with the call to action. So this is something that we created. This is a big reason why we created our digital business cards too, with what we have going on, is no matter what, everything, you'll notice my lives, why I started with contentcards.com. It's just a simple call to action at the beginning. You know where to go if you want to find more information. And I always end my videos with a call to action. So no matter what, personally, if I'm shooting any content that adds value, I have my call to action at the beginning and my call to action at the end. And the purpose behind that is you know exactly where to go if you want more information, right? So for me, every time I shoot a video with value, I have a place where they can learn more. So anytime that I do it, I guess that's my formula for it. Anytime I shoot value, I give you a call to action. I have a simple thing. It's called entertain, educate, and execute. I know we talked about this before. All the videos, you have to catch people's attention, whether it's the first part of the title, which is what we did here, whether it's like going from Facebook business to Facebook personal, which we're going to get to here a little bit later. That's the entertainment part. We're catching your attention. Now we're educating you in the middle, and then the execution is your call to action. So for me, anytime I shoot a video with value, I'm giving you a call to action. And on top of that, I'm making sure it's one clear call to action. If you give people too many call to actions, they're going to get confused, right? So it's one clear call to action. Go to this one place. You say it a couple times just to instill it in their brain. And that's how I do it. I don't know about you, Jeff. Do you have a different formula, or like what do you use when you give a call to action?
No, the same formula, man. One clear, consistent call to action. Yeah. Whether it's agentlivetransfer.com, right? So everything that I'm talking about that's related to that particular service or business unit is agentlivetransfer.com, agentlivetransfer.com. That's it. And I don't stray away from that or give them, and I don't say, if you're interested in ISA calling, go to agentlivetransfer.com. Now, if you're interested in this, go here, and give them a different one, right? All roads lead to agentlivetransfer.com in that particular situation. Yeah. But, also I think it's important to note that you should have some way to gauge what the consumption is from your audience. And so one thing that we'll do is if I am posting some videos, we'll go back and retarget the people that have watched either 10 seconds or 25% of those videos, and we'll target them with a different video. Now, over the course of time, let's say that there's a certain segment of the audience that watched 25% of the last 5 videos. Now, they're going to get a video that's really apparent that it's an offer, right? They've gone through the customer journey to the point where, based on what I can see from their consumption, they're at the decision stage on that customer journey, and I'm going to present them with an offer to do business. So that's the only thing that I would add in there is I really try to watch closely what the consumption is of what, not just so that I can have the opportunity to deliver value for the customer, but also so that I know what people are digging and what they ain't. It's like you do what you think you should be doing, and then figure out what people are engaged with, what they like, what's working, and take that energy and invest it into doing more of that.
Yeah, and that's something as simple as, so this kind of gets into the Facebook personal and business, so we're going to start diving into that a little bit here. So something that we would always do is if we're going to run an ad from whether it's from our Facebook page or different ways that we're running ads, we always have our market audience test it first. We'll give it to you on our personal page, and we let the audience decide whether they like it or not. If you get more views, likes, and comments on this video, well, the audience that I'm speaking to likes this more. Because I can't tell you how many times we'll be sitting there where we try to figure out in our heads, will they like this one more? Will they like this one more? Well, the psychology says this. No, just go out there and test it. Whichever one does better organically, that's how you decide which one of these ads you're going to end up running.
I love it, dude. And I'll tell you something I learned back when I used to be in the menswear. Don't dress yourself. Don't dress yourself. Like, dude, if I tried to sell everybody the suit that I would wear, I wouldn't sell nothing. And so, don't do what you like. And if your audience likes something that you don't think is really the best, who cares? You ain't doing it for you. You're doing it for your audience. And so give the people what they want.
Give the people.
Don't dress yourself.
Yeah. So Jeff, I want to kind of start diving into the subject that we have around the title, business page versus personal page. So how do you decide? Do you have a filter of what goes on what page and what to share on each one? Or how do you really decide all of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I can tell you that, recently I've really tried to break down those walls of separation. Really, if you think about it, Nick, who knows you the most, likes you the most, and trusts you the most? The people on your personal page or the people on your business page?
Personal page.
There you go. And especially if you're in real estate, a lot of those people likely have plans to purchase or sell a property at least within the next 9 years. And they know people at church, at work, at school, in the community, in their soccer league, at the bowling alley, at the bar, whatever it is. They know people that are talking about real estate. They probably hear something every other week. And so to ignore that audience is a waste. Those are the people that know, like, and trust you. And so I think that anybody who's not, you should really be more open to sharing what you're doing business wise on your personal page. Yeah. And the kind of, the formula that I kind of go through really is to think about, so there's general content, right? So let's say I'm going to post, this morning I did my run, and then I posted something about today was trash day. And, we all have a little bit of trash that we keep around, and let's just dump it on the curb and leave it there today because it's trash day, right? And I'm tired of having this shit stink it up. And so, that was something, man, that's general content. I could use that geared towards some of our coaching clients, but at the same time, man, that's just it's passionate for me. So it hits that one. Number one, I'm just passionate about that. I literally just thought about it because that's kind of where my mind is always going. And so that fell under the general category for me, which means it can go everywhere, personal, business, everywhere. The second thing is I'm asking myself, is this an offer? Right? Is it an offer? If it's a clear and direct offer for a product or service, then I probably am not going to be blowing up my personal page with it. Right? Just me personally. Now, if you know, as a more active real estate agent, that's a little bit different, right? That offer is more palatable probably to your friends and family than you know me saying, hey, you know, let's jump into coaching, or let's do one of the things that we offer with Kinder Reese. So if it's something that's an offer, I'm definitely going to go probably on the business page. And then the third thing is it exclusive, right? Is it exclusive content? I mean, you have some exclusive Facebook groups, I think. You know, we have our training portal and learning management system, Kinder Reese University, and there's exclusive content that's for those members. So if it's geared towards that audience, then it's exclusive and it doesn't go on my personal page. It doesn't go on the business page. It goes in that, you know, exclusive Facebook group or workplace or whatever the community is. So I'm thinking, you know, is this general? Is it an offer, or is it exclusive? And that helps me determine where I'm going to post it. And again, when I'm on that general column, I don't go, man, what are people going to say about this post on my personal page? You know, I just do it. Before that little voice in your head can convince you otherwise, hit send. You know, the greatest thing I think about Facebook, they do it in Gmail, which is good, but you don't have an undo button in Facebook. So if you just hit it, it's gone. And I promise you, the things that you might be the most nervous or the most vulnerable, uncomfortable, whatever about posting, I can just about guarantee you that those would be the things that you'd see the most engagement from.
Yeah, no, that brings up a really good point about bringing out those emotions and bringing out that vulnerability, because you never know who out there is going through similar things in their life, but just hasn't hit that send button, right? Because like you're saying, I'm guilty of it, where I've typed something out and I've hit that delete button all the way back to the beginning and wrote like a 5-letter post, right? And then sent it out. Like, yep, that's all that they need. But I'll tell you what, when you do share those emotions, it does go a long way. But I think you bring up some good points, especially with between the business page and the personal page. Number one, on your personal page, a lot of your audience is already there, right? So I like to think of it like this. A lot of us are trying to build our business pages too, to get a lot of our audience moved over there and to bring them over there. Well, let me ask you a question, Jeff. If we're training somebody that you don't have to follow my business page because I just share everything from my business page to my personal page, why do I follow your business page? I'm just going to see every page post twice. So that's something that I'm a big advocate on, is not sharing everything you do on your business page to your personal page. Because from an end user, that gives me no reason to go and follow your business page. If I do that, I'm just going to see all the posts twice, right? So you do have to have that clear defining what goes on my business page and what goes on my personal page. And then just start building the different audiences on each one. So I think, like you were saying, like the general stuff and just building your personal brand and your personal page is great, and having your offers and everything dealing with real estate on your business page is the way to do it. And on top of that, too, we got to think about this. It's a basic Facebook. It's they make money by running ads, right? So we have the free version of the app on our personal page. Well, guess what? The business page is the paid version. And if you aren't paying to play, you might as well just go post on your personal page. Because a lot of times the whole reason for your business page is to run ads, is to boost posts and to get to a larger audience. If you're not using those portions of it, just go post on your personal page and build your brand there. If you're not going to use the paid version of the app, then don't use it. Use the free version.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, do you have what goes? So, like, give me an example of something that you would post both on your business page and your personal page. Because I know what you're saying, but there's sometimes when it would go on both, and it may be hard to determine like where that line is in the sand. So, what's something that you would post on both?
Something I'll post on both. Maybe something motivational. Something that isn't directly related to my business. Maybe it's a motivational post. Maybe it's something talking about what happened in my day today that can relate to both personal and business. You know, so it's more of like engaging posts about the real world, whether it's my life, whether it's my business that's going on. And it has nothing to do with an offer. It has nothing to do with exactly what's going on in my business, but just here's something that happened in the day in the life of Nick, right? So that could go on both my business and my personal page to just kind of keep people entertained and keep people engaged on both pages? What about what would you do on both pages? I know you were kind of talking about that a little bit, but
I'm with you on the motivational thing. I'm with you. Stuff that's like, stuff that is like a testimonial or something like that. If somebody said, man, Jeff really helped me out, got me over the hump in this particular situation, or helped me grow in my business, I would post that on both as well, especially if I knew that I had a good amount of followers that I knew from the real estate industry, whether it was other agents or, clients that had found me. Because what happens is, they find you, they go to your Facebook business page and they find your personal page, and you get those requests and you're like, do I want to accept that request or not? You know what I mean? I think that as long as there's not an offer, I mean, the clear line for me is if it's an offer and I'm asking somebody for contact information, if I'm asking you for your trust, if you're on my personal page, I already got it.
Right.
But if I'm asking you for your trust, then I'm going to do that in a business setting more than likely, unless you find me because of what I'm posting on business. You find me personally, then I'll hit accept all day long, because I think on a personal page, one of the things is that you'll have a lot of commentary. A lot of the times you'll get more authentic, real conversations, real people and their emotions on a personal page. The connection to all their friends and family, or all the friends and family of my friends and family, it's one person leads you to hundreds. So in those situations, I will go on personal too.
Yeah. So, on that note about like getting more people interacting, what are some different ways that you found help get more engagement on your posts and just more interaction on your Facebook in general?
Well, let me ask you, what's 99% of the content that you post these days, Nick, and what format does it come in?
A screen here. Good. Video.
That's it, dude. It's video. I believe there is some statistics. So and that's why we do live videos. So there's people are 3 times more likely to watch a live video than a pre-recorded video. Number one. So if you're not doing video, you're missing the boat. And so when you say like, what are some of the things that I do to get more engagement? Video is number one.
Right.
In addition to that, something that I started doing was, how many have you like a lot of stuff with, when you're scrolling at posts and you hit that like button? It's easy. It's easy, right? Don't have to say nothing. Don't have to get outside of my comfort zone. Don't have to think about something to say. But, think about it from Facebook's perspective. How engaged and how relevant is the person that hits like versus the person that actually takes the time to write or type out a comment? Right. Facebook's going to lean more towards the person that's typing a comment as being more relevant, more engaged. And so what I try to do is if I think about liking it, then I might as well post a comment too. And so I try to comment on everything that I would like, especially if it's somebody that's within my sphere. And even if I can't think of something, clever to say or whatever, I'll just do a thumbs up or an emoji, but I'm going to comment. And what's great about that is everybody else who's in that thread or like that post sees, someone just commented on a post that you liked, or someone just commented on a post that you commented on. So you're getting more eyeballs to you. And then you get those people that are like, man, they've got 25, 30 posts on a deal, or 200 posts, whatever it is. If you ever scrolled through and looked at some of those comments and been like, oh, that's an interesting one. Then you click on the person's name and there you go. You're on their profile.
Yeah.
And so that one comment gets me in front of eyeballs, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about, is eyeballs. I used to love that show Mad Men, and those guys changed the game when, they changed the ad game because they were at the right point in time when television was blowing up and everybody and their brother was sitting at home watching a screen, and there were more eyeballs focused in one place than ever before. And they came up with some really clever ways to monetize that, right? All they did is monetize a black and white, color, it's, Technicolor or whatever in the 1950s and 60s, but
right.
But they monetize that screen. And today, this is that TV. This is at TV, and this is where all the eyeballs are. 2.2 billion people a day go right here on Facebook, not just their phone, on Facebook. 2.2 billion people a day, an average of about 45 minutes a day that the average person spends looking at stuff on Facebook. Yeah. So if you want to go where you can get the most exposure, that's it. And guess what? We ain't got to pay $2 million for a Super Bowl commercial. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's free. It's free.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, so something that you touched on there, I wanted to say, like, the law of reciprocity, right? The more that you go and comment on a lot of other people's posts, the more inclined they're going to be to come back and comment on some of yours, right? So I'm not saying you have to make sure you comment on everybody's post every single time, but when you're there, take the effort, read the post a little bit, and make a comment about it. Chances are you're going to start getting some of those comments back. So something I first did when I started trying to get more engagement, I was spending a lot more time focusing on it. I was doing all my studying on it. What I did, this was some ninja shit that I did. So I went and saw somebody that was posting similar content to what I wanted to post and who had a huge following of people, right? So the requirements I had, they're in my industry. They have a huge following of people. They're in my industry and they're in my area, obviously, because you want people in your area if you're a real estate agent. They have a huge following already. So what I did was I would go and I'd look through that list. Every day they had like 200 likes of people in the area that are liking content that's similar to mine. I friended all of them. You know why? Because they're engaging. I friended everybody who made a comment. So they're already engaging. So the people that like to comment, they're like something that's a similar post to what I'm going to be posting, and they're in my area. So they fit all those requirements. And I'll tell you what, I started getting a lot more comments. I started getting a lot more engagements. I would go on there and I would comment on their stuff. And guess what? They already were commenters, so they went back and commented on my stuff as well. So that's a way, if you don't have a huge audience right now, find someone in your area that posts similar stuff to you and start engaging with some of those people that are on there. Because again, they already comment on something that's similar to what you want to be doing. So that's the way I started building my audience organically and started building an audience and basically borrowing somebody's audience. You already like the stuff that they're doing. Why don't you come like the stuff that I'm doing too?
See, that's money. That's money. To add on to that, man, and I hope everybody who's listening, that's you. I mean, I could see you add in 100 followers to your page in the blink of an eye by using that strategy. And then to compound on that is find groups that you can join and put that ego aside and post in those groups. You know, if you find a group that's relevant to you and you post content that's relevant to the group, bingo. 1 + 1 = 2, and you'll get people to follow you on your page, and you get the eyeballs. The eyeballs.
Right. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be that one person that might not like it and might even comment about it. So I'll tell you what, being in sales, I will say this, there are some pretty dickish people out there when it comes to making some comments. I've been through it. And at the end of the day, guess what? Have them go tell all their buddies how stupid this video is. Chances are now all their buddies are going to watch it. And they might like it. And they might boost your ratings back up. So at the end of the day, if somebody's not liking it, great. Guess what they're doing? They're telling all their buddies how they don't like it. You're going to get more views, and it's just going to get pushed out there even more.
Man, if you read or listen to Grant Cardone, he talks about it all the time. And in his book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, he talks about how they've done some studies, and the person that likes your stuff will talk. This is just like, I'm going to sum it up in a way we can all understand it. But the person that likes your stuff might spend an hour talking about it. The people that hate your stuff are going to spend 4 hours talking about it.
Yeah.
So, give me the haters. Give me, that's a sign that you're doing something right.
Right. So no,
he even talks about, this is funny, he even talks about at an event, he's got somebody that comes up to him and goes, man, you're posting so much stuff, Grant, like every day you're posting stuff. By the way, right now last I heard, his goal was to be posting a thing on Twitter every 6 minutes. So if you think that you're posting too much stuff, you ain't. And it's working for him. It's working for him. But he said this guy at an event came up and said, you're posting so much stuff, man, I had to block you. But guess where he told him that? At a $2,000 event. So the guy hated him, and Grant was giving away all the free stuff, and the guy blocked him, and the guy in turn spent $2,000 to come see him at an event.
Oh my gosh, that's great. And that just goes to show you, at the end of the day, post as much as you want. At the end, the only person you have to worry about is your audience.
Everybody else is just noise that are sending people to your way and gaining more followers or gaining more engagement. So as long as you're speaking to your audience, you're adding value, always lead with value. If you can solve the two things we always look for, can I save you time or can I make you more money? If you can check off one of those boxes, you're helping your audience. As long as you're helping your audience do one of those two things, then you're gravy. You're good to go. So Jeff,
hey, can I just drop one more little gangster tip because you had one? So another thing that I started doing is I started to reply to emails through Messenger. So if I had somebody send me an email, I would, before replying an email, I'd see if I could find them on Facebook and I would reply to their email via MSN Messenger. And then guess what? Now that's going to lead me to a friendship. And if I ever wanted to run ads or offers to their Messenger inbox, once that conversation is started, I'm able to do that. So that's a little gangster takeaway. If you got, just reply to people's emails through Messenger. I mean, first of all, if you're looking for a quick response or you want to know if they got it, I mean, people, 96% of people see that, on their phone. And so it's going to get seen, and there's a lot of advantages to it.
Man, I'm going to steal that one from you, Jeff. I'm 100% going to steal that one from you. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So, Jeff, why don't you tell us what you're working on right now? What do you got cooking up right now?
Oh, man, right now I am working on our Reese University. That's our learning management system, and that's where probably 90% of my time is focused right now, is creating value, taking feedback from the community of people that come to our events. Just got back from our mastermind event in Cincinnati, Ohio, which we tied in with the Kentucky Derby. Crazy, right? Did you see the Derby?
Oh, I saw the videos. Are you talking about the Derby itself? Disqualification?
Yeah, our group was crazy too, but the horse race was crazy.
The group was crazy. I don't know if it tops the horse, but it was dang near close.
Yeah, so the Derby was crazy, man. First time in history that the horse who actually won the race didn't win and got disqualified. So, and by the way, I think there was only $500. I could be wrong, but the odds on that horse that ended up getting the win based on the disqualification was 60-1. And I think that there was only like $500 total bet on that horse in the first place. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's it. So, we got boot camps and stuff, and out of those boot camps, we always get some feedback on what people would like to learn more about. And so then we take and we translate that into creating new content for Reese University, incorporating that content, and those trainings into our live calls with Reese University. Not only is there a bunch of online access, but we try to have 5 to 6 live group coaching calls a month. Matter of fact, you and I do one every month, right, Nick?
Sure. Yes, we do.
Creating Content 101. We've done 2 episodes, and we'll have another one coming up at the end of this month. So that's what I've been working on, man. How about you?
Yeah, man. So I know, and I've had some sneak peeks into that Reese University. As you said, we've been doing a lot of the coaching hand in hand, doing stuff just like this in there. We're able to answer like specific questions and a lot more. But yeah, no, it's badass what you guys have going on over there. But what we've been working on is our digital business cards. So like we were saying, like having that one call to action, that intent-based branding. Every time that you talk to me, I'm going to send you to one link. I don't care if you're going to this website. I don't care if you're going to different links off my page. Every single time you hear me speak, every call to action, it's one link. And if you don't have that in your business, you need to have it in your business. Because at the end of the day, if I need to figure out something about you and I don't know where to go, you're not doing anybody any justice, right? So something that we always say is once you own the mind share, you own the market share. That's why shooting all these videos, that's why posting all that content, that's why we say there's never enough content. Because once you're in that person's mind as their realtor that they know, they need to know where to go after that. So that's why we created that one link that links out to everything. So that's contentcards.com. That's why all these are powered by contentcards.com with the Z. And that's what we got going on, Jeff. So, Jeff.
I love it. And you just knocked one out for me. He literally, guys,
below. Yeah.
Earlier this morning, and I'll tell you how easy it is. Nick jumped on a call with me at 10 o'clock, and I had been lagging on doing the setup, and we knocked it out in 10 minutes. And it's sweet. And one of the things that I love about it is just, from a retargeting perspective, if I've got 5 or 6 different things that I would normally try to deliver to somebody to watch, whether it was driving them to a page or having them watch a video of a testimonial or having them watch a value add video, whatever it is, like normally those would be in 4 or 5 different places. In this case, it's all on one page. They can get whatever they want and probably be curious enough to click on some other stuff. And I can then, because I can put a Facebook pixel on that page, retarget everybody. Imagine if everybody that you handed your business card to, I could show up and be like, hey, what's up, man? Gave you my business card a couple weeks ago. What's happening?
That's the power of it. You're right. Because everybody that is, whether you're giving it to them at a bar that you meet somebody, whether they're going on Facebook, whether it's at an event that you meet them, they're all coming to one website. And when you have a tracking pixel on it, you're able to retarget everybody right back out at them.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited about mine, and I just want to give a little plug for something that we're both passionate about, and that I think it's awesome, which is what led me really to hit you up about the content cards, and that's the Agents Act mission that Nikki and Beth are spearheading. That I know you've helped play a major part in, and so I would recommend anybody who's looking to turn their profit into purpose and start doing something that gives back. You should check out agentsact.com. I'm contributing every single month a donation to that group, and I would recommend anybody who has the passion to do something like that to do it as well.
Yeah, so that link, and just so you guys know, Jeff is an ambassador of Agents Act, so you're going to be able to check that out on his page. We're going to drop his link in the comments below. So again, guys, you can find out about everything that Jeff has going on. Let's definitely check out Reese University. And while you're there, take a look at Agents Act as well. See how you can get involved, and like you said, put your purpose or profit to purpose. So Jeff, hey, thanks for coming on. Do you have anything to leave us off on?
No, man. I'm going to go find somebody who has a bunch of followers and comments, and I'm going to blow them up.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming on. As you guys know, Nick Krem Live is powered by ContentCards.com. That's Content Cards with a Z.com. And we'll see you guys next week.